Hello guys, let's read this article. Firebase almost win my startup. So, what should be kept in mind before choosing Firebase? It's good serverless framework for developers. It's good, and there were no funding to hire additional developers for backend. And the easiest backend solution was Firebase. And the authors tried to build a prototype and test it in the market and get more customer feedback. And they made bad decision. So how they suffered. Let's see why they chose Firebase. It wasn't easy, but there was some reason, and it was an easy choice, and it was a free trial. And you get free Firebase, and they saved money and time over 6 months, the $10K, and using Firebase authentication. It was great, and there was 10K per month free authentication, enough for the startup companies. And few lines of code can help to integrate with Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, Apple, and Gmail logins. And the real-time database of Firebase was magic, and it had more benefits for storing data. And the NoSQL database is fast and scalable, and Firebase handled the scaling. And there was enough retire 50K documents per day and 20K documents per day for write. And how Firebase started to become a problem. The problem started after 6 months. The first problem was query. For more features, complex queries are required, and there was limitation for filtering the data in cloud, and it was not a SQL, and they had to create more collections and duplicated more data. Second problem, a solid backend. The serverless environment had no backend and accessed the database directly from the app, and reading and writing data directly caused the problems. And the Firebase Cloud Functions APIs didn't perform like the normal APIs. It was slow and not developer friendly. And the third problem crashed. And when the team size increased, the problems started. Everyone had to have the clear understanding of the database and how it worked. And the database was written and read directly from various platforms, and it was not practical for developers to write directly in the database. And if they push the wrong formatted data, then the other platform crashed. Yeah, they will crash. And the fourth problem was the security rule. And it was inconvenient to write security rules in the admin panel. They had to abandon the file store. They were using Firebase auth notification and other analytics services. And the solutions they were using were getting complex. So they decided to move on from the file store. And it wasn't easy, and a lot of resources were wasted. The worst part was they lost their time and lost some customers. So when to use Firebase? It's useful if the project should be developed very fast or only a prototype is required and there is only single platform. Having multiple platforms will be an headache, and if the platforms doesn't require the complex queries and is useful for small mobile apps. So the last few words. It's important to research the pros and cons before using and gather as much as knowledge before using it. That should be gathered and there will be some problems on the way. I hope you learned something about the Firestore and Firebase. Thank you guys.